At a grand business dinner filled with powerful executives and investors, billionaire Daniel Grant surprises everyone by inviting his longtime maid, Maria, to the stage. As she begins to speak, the room falls silent, captivated by her humble words on kindness, respect, and the unseen hands that support success. Her quiet wisdom reaches every corner of the room, leaving even the wealthiest guests in awe. As her speech unfolds, the atmosphere shifts, and a realization spreads among the audience, altering their perspective on what true success means. By the end, Maria's words leave a lasting impact no one saw coming, including Daniel himself. But before we dive in, leave a comment and let us know where you are watching from today. And if this story speaks to you, hit that subscribe button for more amazing stories. In the glittering ballroom of a prestigious hotel, billionaire businessman Daniel Grant was hosting his annual business dinner. Known for his relentless drive and success, Daniel was both admired and feared in the industry. This evening was no different, with dozens of executives, clients, and wealthy investors filling the elegant hall. Crystal chandeliers cast a soft glow over the room, and the hum of polite conversation mixed with the sound of clinking glasses filled the air. Daniel, in his late 40s, was dressed in an impeccably tailored suit, the picture of sophistication and authority. But tonight, amidst the grand setting and luxurious ambience, he had a rather unconventional idea in mind. Standing discreetly to the side, observing the event from afar, was Maria, his longtime housekeeper. She was a woman in her mid-50s, with gentle eyes and a warm, calming presence. 4 years, Maria had worked in Daniel's home, keeping his affairs in order, managing the household staff, and acting as a quiet, stabilizing force in his life. Though their relationship had always been professional, Daniel knew Maria to be insightful, wise, and deeply empathetic. She had seen the highs and lows of his personal life, including the strained relationships he kept hidden from the public eye. This particular evening, as he watched the carefully curated crowd of powerful figures in the ballroom, a strange thought struck him. Most people in the room prided themselves on their status, wealth, and influence, but very few truly understood what it meant to work hard day in and day out with humility and kindness. He glanced over at Maria, who was helping the waitstaff with final touches before the event officially began. Despite the grueling hours and tasks she handled, she always did so with a genuine smile. Daniel made a sudden decision. Walking over to Maria, he caught her attention with a polite nod. She looked at him curiously, slightly surprised to see him approach her at an event where he typically mingled only with his high-profile guests. "Maria," he began quietly, "I'd like you to say a few words to our guests tonight." Maria blinked, taken aback. "Sir, you want me to speak?" "Yes," Daniel replied, his tone calm but insistent. "There's something valuable I think you can share that none of us could." Maria hesitated, her eyes widening. She wasn't accustomed to public speaking, especially not in a setting like this, surrounded by CEOs, investors, and business tycoons. But there was a quiet encouragement in Daniel's gaze that made her nod in agreement, albeit nervously. As dinner concluded and the evening progressed, Daniel took to the stage to make his customary welcome speech. He introduced himself, thanked his guests for attending, and spoke briefly about the successes of the past year. Then, to everyone's surprise, he announced, "Tonight, I'd like to invite someone very special to share a few words with us. She's not a CEO or an investor, but she's someone who has taught me more about life than any business mentor. Please welcome my housekeeper, Maria." The room fell into stunned silence as Maria, dressed in simple attire compared to the evening gowns and designer suits around her, stepped forward. She approached the microphone, visibly nervous but determined, and took a deep breath as she looked out at the crowd. After a brief pause, Maria began speaking, her voice steady but soft. "Good evening, everyone," she said, her words carrying a warmth that filled the room. "I don't have a business degree, and I don't own any companies, but I've spent most of my life working hard, often for people who see me as just another worker. But Mr. Grant here has reminded me that kindness and respect can go a long way, no matter who you are or what you do." Maria looked around the room, her gaze meeting the eyes of some of the wealthiest people in the city. "In my line of work, it's easy to feel invisible. I spend my days cleaning, cooking, and caring for others, and many people don't stop to notice the hands that serve them. I've seen how wealth and status can make some people forget the importance of treating others with dignity. But true character isn't shown in how we treat our equals. It's shown in how we treat those who work for us." Her words hung in the air, and a few guests shifted uncomfortably. Maria continued, her tone unwavering. "There's a saying my mother used to tell me. The way you treat the least of people shows the strength of your own soul. Over the years, I've seen people of all types. Some who look down on others, and some, like Mr. Grant, who treat everyone with respect, regardless of their role." Daniel, standing nearby, looked around the room, gauging the reactions of his guests. Some looked humbled, others contemplative, but everyone was listening intently, hanging on to Maria's every word. Maria went on, "I've watched Mr. Grant build his empire with hard work, yes, but also with respect for those who help him. He's one of the few who makes an effort to know our names, to ask how our families are, and to show kindness. And I believe that's a big part of why he's been so successful. Wealth may open doors, but respect and humility are what truly leave a mark." She paused, collecting her thoughts before concluding. "Tonight, I don't stand here as someone extraordinary. I'm just someone who's worked hard all her life, as many of you have. But my hope is that each of you will remember the people who support you, the ones who may be in the background but who are essential to your success. Treat them with kindness, because that's the legacy that will outlast any wealth." Maria's words left a profound silence in the room. The guests, who were accustomed to hearing speeches about profits, strategies, and deals, were stunned by the depth and sincerity of her message. Even the most powerful figures in the room looked affected, visibly moved by her words. Daniel walked over to Maria, placing a hand on her shoulder as he addressed the crowd. "Thank you, Maria, for your words. They remind us that our success is not built alone, and that every person who contributes to it deserves our gratitude and respect." The evening took on a different tone after that. Conversations shifted from business deals to reflections on family, respect, and the values that truly matter. Daniel noticed that some of his guests, whom he'd known for years, appeared deeply introspective, nodding thoughtfully as they processed Maria's words. Later, several guests approached Maria personally, thanking her for her speech and expressing newfound respect for her. One by one, they spoke with her, realizing the strength and wisdom of someone they might otherwise have overlooked. As the evening wound down, Daniel noticed a palpable change in the atmosphere of the event. The conversations were no longer focused on profits or competition. Instead, guests were engaged in meaningful discussions about the importance of humility, kindness, and respect for everyone, regardless of their social status. In the following weeks, Daniel received messages from several attendees who shared how they had been impacted by Maria's words. One executive mentioned that he had reevaluated how he treated his staff, taking more time to show appreciation and listen to them. Another CEO, known for his intensity, admitted that he'd taken Maria's speech to heart and was working on building a more compassionate workplace. For Daniel, it was a reminder that success could be measured not just in financial gains but in the quality of relationships and the kindness we extend to others. And for Maria, the experience reinforced that even the simplest acts of courage and honesty could ripple out to change people in ways she hadn't anticipated. Maria continued her work in Daniel's household, respected not only as an employee but as a friend and a valued voice of wisdom. The business dinner, which began as a night of polished speeches and financial discussions, became a turning point, a reminder that behind every successful person was a network of hands and hearts that deserved recognition. And so, with her quiet strength and sincere words, Maria left a lasting legacy that reached beyond the walls of Daniel's mansion, a legacy built on kindness, humility, and respect.